Hello, friends. Today we will talk about the power of heritage and how each of us can leave a significant mark for future generations. Perhaps you've wondered, what can I pass on to my children, grandchildren, or even great descendants? The answer lies not only in material things, but also in the wisdom, values, traditions, and stories that shape our lives. Let's look at why this is important, what tools exist to create such a legacy, and how to start this process right now. The legacy is what we leave behind. It can be something tangible, like a house, books, or family heirlooms, but more often than not, legacy is linked to the intangible aspects of life. Your beliefs, experiences, knowledge, and relationships. Legacy is not just a transfer of property, but the creation of a link between the past, present, and future. When you leave a legacy, you continue to influence the world even after you are gone. For example, your advice, stories, or principles can inspire your children or grandchildren to succeed or make important decisions. Heritage helps to preserve family traditions and values, creating a sense of belonging to a common cause. This is especially important in the modern world, where people often live far from each other and may lose touch with their roots. Through heritage, we can preserve the memory of ourselves and our ancestors. This can be done through stories, photographs, diaries, or even video interviews that will be passed down from generation to generation. Leaving a legacy is not just a matter of selfishness or a desire to be remembered. It's a way to make the world a better place, share your experiences, and teach others what you've learned in your life. Each person faces unique life challenges and experiences. Your experience can be an invaluable source of knowledge for future generations. For example, if you have overcome difficulties in your career or family, your stories can help your descendants cope with similar situations. Let's delve into this aspect. Imagine that you faced a serious financial problem in your youth and were able to overcome it thanks to certain strategies. If you tell your child or grandson about this, they can use these lessons to avoid such mistakes or find a way out of difficult situations. Values are the foundation of any society. If you believe in principles such as honesty, hard work, or kindness, it's important to pass them on to your children and grandchildren. This will help them find their way in life and become better people. For example, if your family has always appreciated the importance of education, you can create a tradition of celebrating the end of the school year every year or establish a scholarship for young people seeking knowledge. Such actions strengthen family ties and demonstrate the importance of the chosen path. Every family has its own story that deserves to be captured. By talking about your ancestors, their achievements and difficulties, you create a connection between the past and the present. This helps the younger generation to better understand their roots and be proud of their history. Historical memory also plays an important role in the formation of self-awareness. People who know their ancestry and family history are more likely to feel more confident and more consciously approach the choice of a life path. The legacy can be divided into several categories. 1. Material heritage. These are the physical objects that you leave behind. These include home or real estate. These properties can become a meeting place for the whole family over the years. Heirlooms, family jewelry, photographs, documents, or other items of historical or emotional value. Financial assets, deposits, accounts, or investments that can help your descendants achieve financial stability. Material heritage is important, but its importance is often overestimated. Think about how these items can be used for the benefit of future generations. For example, instead of simply bequeathing a house, you can set up a foundation that will support education or community development. 2. Intangible heritage. This type of legacy is associated with ideas, values, and experiences. Here are some examples. Stories and memories. Stories about your life, important events, and the lessons you learned from them. Values and principles. What you believe in and how you have lived your life. Traditions. Festive rituals, family celebrations, or special rituals that bring people together. Intangible heritage has a long-term impact. It shapes the worldview of the descendants and helps them make the right decisions. 3. Emotional legacy. This is how you influence the people around you. Includes love and support. Your relationships with loved ones and how you loved and supported them. Mentoring. The advice you gave your children or grandchildren and the help you provided. Emotional legacy is especially important for psychological well-being. People who feel connected to their ancestors are less likely to experience anxiety and depression. Now let's take a look at the specific steps that will help you start creating your legacy. The first step is to understand what is really important to you. What principles guide your life? What do you want to pass on to your descendants? For example, if education is important to you, you can focus on creating a foundation to support your studies. It is important to note that values can change with age. Perhaps in your youth you thought that success was measured by money, but now you realize that true wealth lies in love and mutual understanding. That's fine. Your legacy should reflect your current beliefs. Step 2. Write down your stories. One of the most effective ways to create a legacy is to record your memories. You can write an autobiography or a diary. Make a video interview where you talk about your experience. Create a photo album with comments for each picture. Recording stories helps preserve the memory of your life and makes it accessible to future generations. For example, your grandson, who will be alive in 50 years, will be able to learn about your childhood, difficulties, and victories, which will create a unique bond between you. Step 3. Pass on the tradition. If your family has special holidays or rituals, it is important to preserve them for future generations. For example, you can organize annual family gatherings or establish a tradition of reading your favorite books. Traditions create a sense of unity and help preserve cultural identity. They also serve as a reminder of the importance of family ties. Step 4. Support education. Education is one of the most powerful tools for creating a legacy. You can to establish a scholarship for students. Write a book or an article based on your experience. To offer assistance in educating young people. An educated generation is the key to a successful future. Your contribution to the development of education can be of great importance to those who come after you. Step 5. Be an example. Your life itself is a legacy. How you live, what morals you show, what decisions you make. All this affects those who are next to you. Be the person your descendants would like to be. For example, if you show concern for others, it can inspire your children to volunteer or participate in charity projects. Let's look at some real-life examples of people who have successfully created their legacy. Example 1. Anna and her family photo album. Anna is a 70-year-old woman who has always devoted a lot of time to her grandchildren. To preserve her family history, she began creating a detailed photo album, which included photos of all generations, adding comments to each picture. This album became a real treasure for her family and helped them to better understand their origins. Anna also recorded a series of videos where she talked about important moments in her life. These recordings have become part of the family archive and continue to inspire her descendants. Example 2. Peter and his Education Foundation. Peter is a 65-year-old man who has worked as a teacher all his life. After retiring, he decided to create a foundation that supports the education of young people from low-income families. His efforts have helped hundreds of students get higher education and change their lives. Peter also began writing a book about his experiences at school, where he shared success stories and tips for aspiring teachers. This book has become popular among teachers and students, demonstrating how one small action can affect an entire community. Heritage not only affects the outside world, but also has profound implications for our psychology. Psychologists point out that creating a legacy helps people feel more meaningful and satisfied with life. When we create a legacy, we give meaning to our lives. It helps us realize that our actions matter and affect the future. For example, if you decide to start a charitable foundation, you will know that your work continues to exist even after you leave. The process of creating a legacy also has a positive effect on the emotional state. Research shows that people who write down their stories or share their values are less likely to experience depression and anxiety. This is because they feel useful and needed. Heritage strengthens social bonds within the family and community. When you share your stories or help others, you create the conditions for deeper interaction. For example, family gatherings around a photo album you have created can be a source of joy and unity. Scientific research confirms the importance of heritage for human well-being and society as a whole. One study conducted by scientists from Emory University showed that children who know their family history well are better able to cope with life's difficulties. This is because knowing the past helps them understand that problems can be overcome and that they are not alone in their struggles. Another study has shown that people who feel like they are part of something bigger, such as a family or community, live longer and healthier. This is because they experience less stress and have stronger social connections. If you want to start creating your legacy, here are some practical recommendations. Don't try to change the whole world all at once. Choose the one area that is most important to you and focus on it. Regularity is the key to success. Gradually add legacy elements to your life, such as writing down your thoughts every evening or organizing annual family gatherings. Modern technologies make it easy to save and distribute information. For example, you can create a digital archive of your photos or recordings. Traditions help strengthen family ties and convey values. For example, you can establish a tradition of reading books together or participating in charity projects. How to overcome obstacles when creating a legacy. There may be various obstacles in the process of creating a legacy. Let's look at the most common ones and ways to overcome them. Many people feel that they don't have time to create a legacy. However, it is important to remember that even small steps can make a big difference. For example, instead of watching TV, you can spend an hour writing down your memories. If you doubt the significance of your actions, remember that every little thing matters. Even a simple story about your childhood can be a source of inspiration for someone else. Fear of failure is one of the most common barriers. To overcome it, start with small changes. For example, instead of writing an entire book, start with small notes or short videos. The power of collective heritage. The legacy does not have to be individual. You can create a collective legacy together with your family or community. Organize a family archive where each family member can add their stories and photos. Create a group of volunteers who will be involved in charity or environmental projects. Collective heritage enhances the sense of unity and allows for greater impact. Friends, creating a legacy is not only an opportunity to leave a mark behind, but also a way to make the world a better place. Your experience, values, and traditions can inspire future generations and help them find their way in life. Don't be afraid to start right now. Write your own stories, pass on traditions, support education, and be an example to others. Your legacy will be an invaluable gift for your descendants. If this topic is close to you, leave comments and share your experience. In the next video, we'll talk about how to maintain a positive mindset at any age. See you soon.